Welcome to Beyond the Books channel. We will be conducting a vocabulary analysis of Roald Dahl's Matilda. While the book is a staple of children's literature, Dahl's prose is surprisingly dense with high allele vocabulary, words that appear frequently in standardized testing. We will explore these words, lessons from the book, and literary themes in the book. On page 5, Dahl describes the formidable task of dealing with certain parents. Formidable describes inspiring fear or respect through being impressively large or powerful. Formidable often describes an opponent. Resent and despise are crucial for understanding the emotional landscape between Matilda and her parents. Resent means to feel bitterness at something or someone. Despise means having hatred. Note the synonym execrate, meaning to feel or express great loathing. Matilda is the definition of precocious, meaning having developed certain abilities or proclivities at an earlier age than usual. Synonyms include advanced, gifted. On page 10, her brilliance is established early. While devouring is often used for food, Dahl uses it metaphorically for her reading habits. Synonym is consuming. For sagely, the synonym judiciously is a classic term referring to someone showing great wisdom or good judgment. Another synonym is prudently. The Miss Trunchbull chapters are a masterclass in villainy vocabulary. She is tyrannical, meaning exercising power in a cruel or arbitrary way. Synonyms are despotic, autocratic. On page 82, Miss Trunchbull uses the word vile to describe a student, meaning extremely unpleasant, morally bad, wicked. Synonyms include abhorrent, nefarious. Note the word obstinate on page 104. Its synonyms, intransigent and obdurate, are perfect for describing a character who refuses to be moved by reason or emotion. As the plot shifts toward Matilda's telekinetic powers, the tone becomes more placid, yet astonished. Placid means not easily upset or excited, calm and peaceful. Synonyms are serene, tranquil. Astonished means greatly surprised or impressed, amazed. Synonyms include astounded, dumbfounded. An apparition appears during the climax, meaning a ghost or ghost-like image of a person. Using the word specter or phantasm in an essay would significantly elevate the literary tone. Mr. Wormwood loves to gloat over his dishonest car sales. Gloat means to dwell on one's own success or another's misfortune, with smugness or malignant pleasure. Synonyms being exult, triumph. Conversely, Miss Honey begins the book as meek, a word that is used to describe a foil to a powerful antagonist. Insolent. It's what the Trunchbull calls any student who stands up to her. It means showing a rude and arrogant lack of respect. Synonyms are impudent, contumacious. When the newt is discovered in the water jug, pandemonium ensues, meaning wild and noisy disorder or confusion. Uproar. Synonyms being bedlam, tumult. Lurid is often used to describe descriptions of crimes or bright, ugly colors. Synonyms include garish, gaudy. Finally, apoplectic is a sophisticated way to describe Trunchbull's rage. Synonyms like choleric and incensed. These words move away from descriptions and into abstract concepts. The Trunchbull views her own judgment as infallible. She believes she can never be wrong. Synonyms are unimpeachable, irreproachable. A grievance is a formal way to discuss the many wrongs the students suffer. These terms are frequently found in reading passages concerning history or social studies. Synonyms are injustice, affront. Alibi is a claim or piece of evidence that one was elsewhere when an act is alleged to have taken place. Synonyms include defense, exculpation. Dahl explores the idea that power, when left unchecked, becomes tyrannical. The Trunchbull represents the adultist dictator archetype, believing her power is absolute simply because of her status. The Trunchbull's mantra, "I'm right and you're wrong, I'm big and you're small," is the thesis statement for her abuse of power. In a school context, we can compare this to historical or literary figures who use intimidation to maintain control, proving that physical strength is often a mask for moral weakness. Crunchem Hall serves as a metaphor for systems that prioritize discipline and fear over growth and empathy. Matilda and her classmates demonstrate that collective resistance can dismantle even the most formidable, from our vocab list, regimes. Knowledge isn't just schooling in this book, it is a survival mechanism. While her parents see the television as a source of truth, Matilda sees books as a source of power. This theme suggests that education is the ultimate equalizer. Even without physical strength, Matilda's mental prowess allows her to reclaim her agency. Books provide Matilda with a window to worlds beyond her neglectful home. Matilda's intelligence allows her to outmaneuver adults who rely solely on brute force. Mrs. Phelps represents the guide archetype, showing that access to information is the first step toward freedom. This is a poignant theme. It challenges the traditional notion of family, Matilda and Miss Honey are both orphans in their own way, one literally and one emotionally. Their decision to stay together at the end is a radical act of choosing a found family, based on shared values rather than shared blood. The Wormwoods illustrate that biological relation does not guarantee love or support. The relationship between Matilda and Miss Honey is built on mutual respect and shared trauma. The conclusion of the novel argues that home is a place where one is understood, not just where one is born. The ultimate lesson of Matilda is that extraordinary things happen to those who refuse to accept ordinary cruelty. Whether it's through telekinesis or simply through reading, the mind has the power to change reality. It's a message of hope for anyone who feels overlooked or underestimated by the world around them. Justice is worth fighting for. Even if you are small, you have a moral obligation to stand up against vile behavior. Resilience. Your circumstances, like living with the Wormwoods, do not have to define your potential. The power of the mind, intelligence and creativity are more formidable weapons than physical violence. In the world of Matilda, the Trunchbull uses these words to diminish her students. However, if you were writing an essay about her, you wouldn't just say she calls kids stupid. You would say she views them as vacuous or insignificant. This dictionary helps students bridge the gap between the characters' dialogue and formal literary criticism. In literary theory, we call this a foils analysis. The Trunchbull and Matilda are both exceptionally strong individuals, but they occupy opposite ends of the moral spectrum. Trunchbull uses her power to diminish others, while Matilda uses hers to elevate the oppressed. Notice how the Trunchbull's power is static. It relies on a rigid hierarchy, while Matilda's power is dynamic, shifting to meet the needs of those around her. This concludes our deep dive into Matilda by Roald Dahl. Hope you learned new vocabulary that you have seen in the book. Thanks for joining Beyond the Books.